Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 92 based on novel. So let's start. As the news of Zheng Niu's battle with Li Yuanfeng spread across the planet, Zheng Niu disappeared once more. After Wang Lin left Shuiyu, he immediately found an isolated place before bringing the two arms into the heaven-defying bead. He stood before Sichu Nan's giant soul. When he arrived, he released the seal on the two arms. The moment he unsealed them, the two arms mysteriously floated around Sichu Nan's soul. Wang Lin looked at what was happening with a serious expression. He had guessed that these were Sichu Nan's arms, and now he was even more sure. For the first time in hundreds of years, Sichu Nan's soul trembled. Then a bright light immediately appeared and surrounded the two severed arms. The severed arms slowly moved toward his soul and eventually disappeared into it. Wang Lin could clearly feel Sichu Nan's soul recovering at a very fast pace. From its half-transparent state, it was gradually becoming solid. Shortly after, the light from the soul disappeared. At this moment, Sichu Nan's soul became solid once more, but he still hadn't awakened yet. Back then, Sichu Nan told me that only after I reach the soul transformation stage will I be able to help him reawaken. He was very vague about it. I'm afraid it has something to do with celestial spiritual energy. Wang pondered a bit while looking at Sichu Nan's soul before looking at his parents' soul. He had stared at them for a very long time before he bitterly said, "Mom, Dad, your son is supposed to send you both off back into the reincarnation cycle, but I can't let go." After a very long time, Wang Lin let out a sigh and left the heaven-defying bead. Those severed arms were indeed parts of Sichu Nan's body. I wonder if there are any more pieces of his body still remaining. Wang Lin looked into the distance as he walked out from the heaven-defying bead. That was where the giant demon clan was located. I have already checked Li Yuanfeng's soul. He only obtained the two severed arms by accident and has no idea where they came from. Wang Lin shook his head, then he took a step and disappeared. I must take back the celestial sword from the giant demon clan ancestor. Back then, Sun Tai fought against the giant demon clan ancestor, but in the end, the giant demon clan ancestor won by using his bloodline power. However, he was then hunted by Sun Tai's corpse puppet, so whether he's alive or dead is unknown. Even if he didn't die, he will still need to possess a new body. The time it takes for someone to get used to their new body could be long or short. I wonder if he has fully adapted to his new body. With one step, Wang Lin appeared outside an ancient transfer array. The giant demon clan ancestor is different from Li Yuanfeng. Li Yuanfeng reached the soul transformation stage by force, but the giant demon clan ancestor reached it through his own cultivation. Also, the giant demon clan's fighting style is similar to an ancient god's. Maybe their ancestor had some relation to the ancient gods. As a result, I'm not confident in my fight against him. Wang Lin slightly frowned and stopped before entering the transfer array. One of the destinations on the transfer array was the giant demon clan. Wang Lin's expression was very unsettled as he began to think. These aren't even the most important things. The most important thing is the bloodline power he has that even the mid-stage soul transformation Sun Tai dreaded. In the end, even Sun Tai was sucked into the vortex. As a result, my confidence in winning is even lower. To battle or not to battle? For one of the first few times in Wang Lin's life, he began to hesitate. If I battle, the outcome is uncertain. Not battling would mean missing the best chance to kill this person. If I wait until he finishes his possession, I don't know how long I'll have to wait until I can kill him. The reason he wants to kill me must be because of the giant demon clan member who saw the heaven-defying bead all those years ago. Wang Lin has lived for 500 years, even the dumbest person would become like a fox, and he wasn't dumb. These 500 years have given him the experience to see through many things. After combining various clues, he had already seen through everything when he awakened 2 years ago. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he stepped into the ancient transfer array. He placed a celestial jade into the formation and suddenly a map with 10 shining dots appeared. Wang Lin touched one of the dots with his right hand. The map disappeared and the transfer array opened. As the array grew brighter and brighter, Wang Lin's figure slowly disappeared. An ancient transfer array in the country of Kaiu flashed and a figure walked out. The figure didn't stop but directly charged toward the soul refining sect. At night, the 3 mountains of the soul refining sect looked like 3 sharp swords pointing at the sky. Wang Lin's figure appeared outside the soul refining sect. He passed through the defense formation and flew toward the 9 golden rings. The 9 golden rings shined and then a middle-aged man appeared. When he saw Wang Lin, he revealed a complex expression before letting out a sigh and saying, Yang Qian, greet Junior Sect Master. Junior Sect Master, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He realized that Du Qian must have told these soul formation cultivators what they had talked about. Wang Lin clasped his hands and said, Fellow cultivator Ouyang, I want to greet the ancestor. Ouyang Qian shook his head and said, Ancestor has already gone into closed-door cultivation, so unless it's a very urgent matter, he is not to be disturbed. However, the ancestor already guessed that you would come, so he prepared 2 things for me to give you. With that, his expression became even more complex as he threw out a bag of holding. Wang Lin calmly caught the bag of holding. After scanning it, his expression immediately became strange. Ouyang Qian bitterly smiled. Junior Sect Master is the next successor appointed by Ancestor Du Qian himself. I have been in the soul refining sect for 700 years and have never seen the ancestor give this to anyone, even though it isn't even the main flag but an illusionary sub-flag. Earlier, he was called by Ancestor Du Qian and was told to give Wang Lin this bag once Wang Lin arrived. He was curious and checked what was in the bag. What he found was shocking. If it wasn't for his undying loyalty toward the soul refining sect and his respect to Ancestor Du Qian, he would have been consumed by greed. There were only 2 things inside the bag. A piece of jade and a soul flag. Wang Lin took out the jade and scanned it. After a while, he took a deep breath and bowed toward the blood ring while saying, Thank you. Although it was soft, he remembered this in his heart. With that, he nodded toward Ouyang Qian and disappeared. Ouyang Qian's expression became even more complex. He shook his head as he let out a sigh and returned to his golden ring. The Giant Demon Clan's bloodline power is very strong, but the Giant Demon Clan ancestor has just reached the soul transformation stage, so he can't use it to its full extent. He can only use it to teleport someone into the void outside of Suzaku. Wang Lin didn't leave the soul refining sect but sat on top of the soul refining mountain, his eyes sparking. Inside the jade, Du Qian had recorded a very detailed description of the Giant Demon Clan's bloodline power. Wang Lin took a deep breath. He touched the bag of holding Du Qian had left him and then a purple and golden light flew out. This purple and golden light was very bright. It immediately turned into a 30-foot tall flag that moved without any wind. At the same time, waves of ghostly wails seemed to come out from the flag and the sky darkened even more. Even the moon seemed to be hiding behind the clouds as if it were too scared to come out. Several purple and golden lights could be seen inside the flag. It was as if they were going to come out and devour the heavens and the earth. 1 billion soul flag. Wang Lin took a deep breath and stared at this flag. This was the second object Ancestor Du Qian had placed in the bag and what caused Ouyang Qian's expression to be so complex. Wang Lin came back this time to borrow a treasure from Ancestor Du Qian so he could kill the Giant Demon Clan ancestor. However, this flag wasn't the real flag was beside Du Qian during his closed-door cultivation. The flag before him was a sub-flag created from the main flag. It contained 1/3 of the power of the real flag and could only be used twice. After 2 uses, it will disappear. Even so, this sub-flag was priceless. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he grabbed the flag. The moment he touched it, his origin soul shook and extended from his body into the soul flag. Then the feeling of having entered a hell for cultivators appeared. He could see a sea of souls crashing toward him and drowning him. Waves of screams and painful sounds crashed toward Wang Lin like waves of powerful attacks. He suddenly felt like he was being hit by 1 billion soul fragments. Even with his powerful body, he felt like he was about to shatter under this force. What shocked him the most was that his origin soul showed signs of collapsing. He wasn't even able to resist one attack. The right hand holding the flag trembled. Wang Lin's eyes sparkled and he quickly regained his focus to activate the soul sealing technique Du Qian gave him. The 1 billion soul flag was the #1 treasure of the soul refining sect. Even on the entire planet, this treasure could be considered one of the top treasures. This treasure was like the war chariot and the celestial sword, it required its own unique method that was inherited from previous generations to control. The method to controlling this soul flag was the soul sealing method. As of now, including Wang Lin, only 2 people knew the soul sealing technique. This was different from the war chariot. Although he had the technique to control it, Wang Lin was too weak to use it properly, so the power wasn't as strong as it should be. However, this soul flag wasn't the same. Although there was a cultivation level requirement, it wasn't as high as the war chariots. With his original body and avatar fused, Wang Lin's current cultivation level was enough to use this flag. The soul sealing technique activated in his body, and his origin soul inside the soul flag suddenly began to glow. All of the soul fragments that were charging toward him let out painful screams. Among those soul fragments there were 12 purple and golden souls that flew out and surrounded Wang Lin. These souls gave off a powerful pressure. The 12 purple and golden soul fragments bowed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's origin soul emitted a golden light. This golden light came from activating the soul sealing technique. The 12 souls were the 12 soul transformation ancestors of the soul refining sect that willingly gave up their souls to be sealed within the soul flag. With the 12 soul transformation soul fragments in there, the power of this soul flag was already enough to shake the heavens. In addition to those 12 soul transformation soul fragments, there were more than 100 soul formation soul fragments and countless nascent soul fragments. As the 12 soul transformation soul fragments bowed, all the other soul fragments inside the flag became silent. Soul force came out from all the soul fragments in the form of black gas and gathered before Wang Lin's origin soul. Strands of black gas gathered from all directions, even the 12 soul transformation soul fragments turned into stands of black gas. All of the black gas gathered to form a 30-foot-tall flag before Wang Lin's origin soul. Everything Wang Lin saw was inside the soul flag. The flag that appeared before him was the spirit of the soul flag. If he could control this, he could truly control the 1 billion soul flag. Wang Lin's origin soul reached out and grabbed the flag. He suddenly felt his body tremble, and then his origin soul returned to his body. At the top of the soul refining mountain, Wang Lin opened his eyes and found that there was nothing before him, but he could sense a purple and gold flag within him being refined by his origin soul. Giant Demon Clan Ancestor, this will be a calamity you'll have a hard time escaping from. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he disappeared from the soul refining sect. After Wang Lin left, a sigh came from the blood ring where Duqian was doing his closed-door cultivation. Wang Lin quickly appeared at the ancient transfer array, opened it up, and disappeared from Kaiu. Giant Demon Clan. The Giant Demon Clan's territory was very large. When they moved over from another planet, they made an agreement with the one who was Susaku at the time and were given this land to flourish upon. In the Giant Demon Clan, there were 12 giant demon palaces. All 12 palaces looked the same and were very large. Ever since 2 years ago, when the ancestor lost his body and possessed another, his whereabouts were unknown. After all, one was at their weakest during possession. This was why the ancestor changed his closed-door cultivation location 3 times. On this day, Kaiu sat inside the third palace with a piece of jade in his hand. His face was pale and filled with confusion. Zheng Niu killed Shuiyu's Li Yuanfeng. With my understanding of him, I think that his next target will be the ancestor. If he comes, that means he is confident. What should I do? Although the ancestor is wrong, he is the hope of the Giant Demon Clan. Everything he has done was for the future of the Giant Demon Clan. But Zheng Niu considers me a real friend. Kaiu bitterly shook his head. His eyes were filled with confusion. Wang Lin appeared at the edge of the Giant Demon Clan. He wasn't in a rush to enter the Giant Demon Clan. Instead, he created a cave at the border and began to use various materials in his bag to build a formation. The only purpose of this formation was to act as a beacon. This was what Wang Lin came up with to deal with the Giant Demon Clan ancestors' bloodline power. Even if he were to get teleported into space, he could use this formation as a beacon to return and not be lost in space. This was like attaching himself with a rope, so even if he gets teleported, he won't be teleported too far and will be able to find his way back. This was formation from the jade Duqian had left him. Wang Lin studied it and added some changes to it, making it even more intricate. He spent 3 months to completely set up this formation and even placed a celestial jade as its energy source. Then he placed down countless restrictions around the area to protect it. After finishing all of this, Wang Lin raised his head toward the Giant Demon Clan. His eyes became cold and then he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already at the center of the Giant Demon Clan. He spread out his divine sense and immediately covered a majority of the country. Giant Demon Clan ancestor, come out now. Wang Lin's message spread through his divine sense and was immediately heard by countless Giant Demon Clan members. Some of these clan members were in the middle of cultivating or sparing, but the moment they heard this, they stopped what they were doing and looked toward Wang Lin. Kaiu sighed and disappeared from the palace. After Wang Lin sent out the message, he calmly stood there. In almost the blink of an eye, countless rays of light came from all directions and stopped 1,000 feet away from him. There were males and females, old and young, all of them stared at Wang Lin with gloomy expressions. Aside from those people, there were countless more flying over. At this moment, an old man appeared from thin air and all the other clan members made way for him. The old man stopped 100 feet before Wang Lin. He frowned and shouted, "Who are you?" Wang Lin's gaze was like lightning as he stared at the old man and said, "Seng Niu." The moment those two words came out, the surroundings immediately became silent. Almost all of the giant demon clan members' eyes were filled with fear. Seng Niu, it was he who won against Red Butterfly. He is the Seng Niu that killed Li Yuanfeng, caused Xueyu to become a rank 3 cultivation country, and sealed all of Xueyu's soul formation cultivators. The #1 cultivator under the soul transformation stage. Rumor has it that he has already reached the soul transformation stage, or else there is no way he could have killed Li Yuanfeng. Even the old man who had spoken took a deep breath. He looked at Seng Niu and slowly asked, "Fellow cultivator Seng Niu, what are you looking for my clan's ancestor for?" Wang Lin's eyes were cold as he said, "Kill." The old man's expression was ugly. He let out an angry laugh as he pointed at Wang Lin and said, "I have heard that you were arrogant. Now that I've met you, I can see that you are indeed so. Seng Niu, my giant demon clan isn't Xueyu, how can we let you kill as you wish? Today, without even the need for the ancestor to come out, my giant demon clan will kill you." With that, the old man slapped his bag of holding and a black token appeared. He held the black token up and shouted, "I use my status as the elder of the giant demon clan to order all clan members to use everything to kill Seng Niu." The moment he said it, the token turned to dust and a mysterious power quickly spread across the entire giant demon clan. Every clan member felt the message from the mysterious power. As the old man gave out the order, the 100+ clan members around Wang Lin all let out roars and their bodies grew several times larger. In the blink of an eye, they had all turned into giants tens of feet tall. They all touched their foreheads and war axes appeared in their hands. The aura they exuded was heaven-shattering. "Kill!" The old man let out a roar as crackling sounds came from all over his body. He became a 100-foot-tall giant and swung down an axe covered by a purple light on Wang Lin. "Kill!" The surrounding clan members all let out roars as they charged at Wang Lin. Their roars merged into a sound wave which also joined the charge. The giant demon clan was very different from other clans. Once an enemy is identified by an elder, they would never fight by themselves but attack in groups. They would also no longer try to talk anymore, "Kill" was the only word they would say. An ordinary cultivator would be scared to death by these giants charging at them. Even if their expression remained calm, their heart would still tremble. This sound contained heaven-shaking killing intent like a primal beast, but compared to Wang Lin, this was still not enough. Wang Lin's killing intent was very scary. He had lived almost his entire life by killing, and this was especially true for his original body. His avatar had fused with his original body, so all the killing intent from his original body was here. Wang Lin's eyes became cold as all the killing intent in his body exploded forth. "Tell me where the giant demon clan ancestor is hiding, or else die." Aside from Kaiu, Wang Lin had no good intent toward the rest of the giant demon clan. Because he couldn't find where the giant demon clan ancestor was when he spread out his divine sense, he became impatient. As he spoke, he didn't even look at the giant demon clan members charging at him but instead activated his domain. The sky above the giant demon clan darkened. A mysterious power surrounded the heavens and earth. The life and death reincarnation scroll appeared in the sky along with the ancient god's figure. The ancient god in the sky held the life and death scroll. At this moment, this was the only thing in the sky. Wang Lin's eyes were cold as he revealed a ruthless expression and calmly said, "Seal." Countless strands of grey gas suddenly came out from the scroll and landed on the bodies of the giant demon clan members who were charging at Wang Lin. The old man's expression changed greatly. He clenched teeth and didn't back down as he swung down the axe. Wang Lin glanced at the old man and softly said, "Scram." With just the power of one word, the old man's body trembled and his origin soul became unstable. However, he let out a roar and used some unknown technique to recover and continue swinging down the axe. Surprised, Wang Lin quickly threw out a punch. Bang! The old man coughed out blood and was knocked back several feet before colliding with another clan member. That member also coughed out blood, and together they were knocked back over 100 feet before they finally stopped. At this moment, 2 strands of grey gas caught up to the 2 of them and entered their bodies. Zheng Niu, stop! At this moment, a voice filled with pain came from the distance. Wang Lin raised his head and the coldness on his face lessened. Kaiu. Kaiu's figure moved like lightning and arrived almost immediately after he heard those words. He looked at his surrounding clan members who each had a light and dark mark on their foreheads. Kaiu could only detect very faint spiritual energy fluctuations. It was clear that their cultivations had already been sealed. These more than 100 clan members all displayed very ugly expressions with shock mixed in. Although they had already heard of this, to experience it themselves made them feel very bitter. Kaiu looked at Wang Lin with a complex expression and loudly asked, Zheng Niu, do you consider me, Kaiu, your friend? Wang Lin looked at Kaiu and nodded. I don't have many friends in my life, but you, Kaiu, can be considered one. Kaiu stared at Wang Lin and said, word for word, Zheng Niu, if you consider I, Kaiu, your friend, then immediately leave the giant demon clan. Wang Lin pondered a bit. After a while, he slowly said, Kaiu, do you know why I haven't killed a single person in the giant demon clan yet? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have spared them. As the 2 spoke, even more giant demon clan members arrived and surrounded them. They created an oppressive aura that slowly closed in. Kaiu's heart felt bitter. He revealed a strained expression and said, Zheng Niu, you. Wang Lin looked at Kaiu and gently sighed. Kaiu, tell me where the giant demon clan ancestor is and I'll go find him. As for the other giant demon clan members, I won't hurt them. So bold. Madness. Countless curses came from the surrounding giant demon clan members, then 3 old men wearing purple and with axes flashing on their foreheads walked out. When the 3 of them appeared, a powerful spiritual pressure came with them. Wang Lin glanced at them. All 3 of them were at the peak of the late stage of soul formation. They also had traces of celestial spiritual energy inside them. They were clearly on the edge of breaking through to the soul transformation stage. One of the purple-robed elders gloomily said, Zheng Niu, I'm the head elder of the giant demon clan. I challenge you to a duel. Wang Lin's eyes were cold. He looked at the elder and said, you are not worthy. With that, he turned back to Kaiu for his reply. The old man's face changed from green to red as he stared at Wang Lin. After letting out a laugh, his eyes became cold and he stepped forward. A giant axe appeared in his hand and he charged toward Wang Lin with a roar. Members of the giant demon clan rarely used any spells or techniques, they mostly used their powerful bodies to attack. Wang Lin glanced at that old man. He formed a fist with his right hand and threw a punch. Boom! With a loud bang, the old man was forced back several feet and his face paled as he revealed a look of disbelief. The other purple-robed elders' expressions changed greatly as they secretly cursed. Wang Lin didn't even move. He looked at the old man and said, you are still not worthy. Kaiu bitterly said, I don't know where the ancestor is. Zheng Niu, stay your hand, my giant demon clan is not your enemy. Wang Lin pondered. After a long time, he looked into the sky and then pointed at Kaiu. Kaiu, tell your ancestor to return my flying sword and I'll leave immediately. Kaiu secretly sighed. He looked at Wang Lin as he struggled to make a choice in his heart. Shortly after, he depressingly said, no one knows where the ancestor is, but once we open the heaven passage formation, we can contact the ancestor. Zheng Niu, once you have the celestial sword, you should quickly leave. Wang Lin looked at Kaiu and slowly nodded. The 3 purple-robed elders remained silent. They were the 3 strongest members of the clan aside from the ancestor. If they couldn't resist against Wang Lin, there was no need to talk about the other clan members. Especially after they saw that more than 100 clan members were sealed, their hearts immediately darkened. Kaiu turned around to look at the 3 elders with a complex expression in his eyes and said, 3 elders, please open the giant demon clan's heaven passage formation. I order it as the junior sect master. The 3 purple-robed elders looked at each other and quickly nodded. Without any hesitation, they slapped their foreheads and a purple axe appeared in each of their hands. Open the western giant demon palaces, one of the elders shouted. He threw the axe in his hand into the air and shot out rays of spiritual energy. The ground of the giant demon clan suddenly began to shake and a black pillar of light that pierced through the sky appeared in the western part of the giant demon clan. A powerful wave of spiritual energy began to spread from it. At the same time, a black pillar of light appeared in the east. This didn't end just yet. After the two pillars of black light appeared, a third one soon followed. The ground shook even more and countless cracks spread all over the ground. Ripples of spiritual energy spread out from each of the three pillars. Open the southern giant demon palaces. Open the northern giant demon palaces. The other two purple-robed elders shouted almost at the same time as the first and threw their axes into the air as well. The north and south suddenly began to rumble as a total of 6 more black pillars appeared. At this moment, a mysterious sound began to echo in all directions. Kaiu looked at Wang Lin. He clenched his teeth and said, "Open the eastern giant demon palaces." The moment he said that, rumblings could be heard from the east and 3 black pillars appeared. If someone were to look from above, the entire giant demon clan was completely covered by the black light from the 12 pillars. With 3 pillars in each direction, it seemed to form a heavenly prison. At this moment, as the 12 pillars rose into the sky, all of the clan members around Wang Lin sat down cross-legged and began to mutter. Their voices fused together in a very strange way, and like an endless curse, it began to spread. At this moment, the giant demon clan members who hadn't arrived yet, whether they were at the chi condensation stage or the soul formation stage, all stopped and began to echo this strange song. The song seemed to be the only sound left in this world. The 12 black pillars emitted a black light, and in reaction to this strange song, the black light became even stronger. Wang Lin revealed a hint of sadness in his eyes. He saw the struggle in Kaiu's eyes. However, he had very few relations with anyone and really considered Kaiu his friend. In a 5,000-kilometer radius, he and Kaiu were the only ones standing. Everyone else was sitting down cross-legged while singing that strange song. Kaiu looked at Wang Lin with a complex expression and bitterly said, "Seng Nio, I let you down. However, the ancestor is the hope of my giant demon clan, and as the junior sect master, this is my duty. Even with the ancestor's body, he can't withstand 8 blows from the heaven passage formation. Your body isn't as strong as the bodies of my giant demon clan's members, so there is no chance of survival." He raised his right hand and pointed at Wang Lin. The strange song that surrounded the entire giant demon clan suddenly became even louder and more intense. The 12 black pillars suddenly trembled and started moving very quickly toward Wang Lin, who was at the center. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He looked at Kaiu and blandly said, "Kaiu, for what happened at the celestial realm, you owed me, and from 2 years ago, I owe you. Consider the 2 matters even." Kaiu's eyes darkened. "Even, that is indeed correct, we are even." Wang Lin raised his head to look at the 12 black pillars coming from all directions and laughed. "Kaiu, do you really think this heaven passage formation can kill me? Break for me." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He suddenly appeared before one of the black pillars and threw a punch. Boom! The black pillar suddenly shattered, creating a powerful force. Wang Lin's body was pushed back several feet and his right fist started bleeding. The first pillar! Wang Lin's eyes lit up. During the fight with Li Yuanfeng, he wasn't able to use the full power of a 3-star ancient god's body. At this moment, his eyes were filled with battle intent. He licked the blood from his right fist and charged toward the next pillar. With a bang, the second pillar suddenly collapsed. Wang Lin laughed and said, "The second pillar." His figure moved once more and appeared next to another pillar. The sky was currently filled with countless cracks due to the black pillars. It was reaching its limit before shattering. Boom! Wang Lin began to laugh like mad. He moved again and unshattered another pillar. Every time he shattered a pillar, his fist would bleed and he would lick away the blood. The current Wang Lin was very fierce. As he laughed, he shouted, "The 8th pillar!" His clothes were in pieces, revealing his well-toned upper body filled with tiny cracks. The 3 stars on his forehead spun rapidly, not allowing anyone to see exactly what was there. The song from the giant demon clan became even louder and stranger. Their bodies were no longer unmoving but waving back and forth in a pattern. Kaiu revealed a look of disbelief. In the giant demon clan, no one but the ancestor could withstand 8 pillars, and that was the ancestor's limit. Of course, this was when he was only using his body. If the ancestor were to use spells, he could withstand all 12 pillars but would be injured. Wang Lin let out a roar and moved like lightning as he threw out more punches. He shattered 3 of pillars in a row. The current Wang Lin was like a primal demon god. The last pillar. Kaiu, look carefully. As Wang Lin's voice echoed in the heavens, the last pillar arrived. This time Wang Lin didn't punch, but with a roar, his body suddenly grew into a giant more than 100 feet tall. Boom! The black pillar hit Wang Lin's chest and shattered. Wang Lin was forced back 3 steps, but he wasn't injured at all. He let out a roar and the heaven passage formation shattered. This was a real display of the peak power of a 3-star ancient god. Kaiu, things are even between us. Giant Demon Clan, seal. Wang Lin's giant finger pointed at the sky and countless strands of grey gas appeared and entered the bodies of all the Giant Demon Clan members. From today onward, there will be no nascent soul or above cultivators. If anyone wants to break through past the core formation stage, they must have my approval. This is your punishment. Wang Lin's eyes were cold. At this moment, his word was like the heaven's law that would decide the fate of the Giant Demon Clan. The fusion of the avatar and the original body, the fusion of a late-stage soul formation cultivator and a 3-star ancient god, they created a very powerful Wang Lin. Unless a soul transformation cultivator used celestial spiritual energy, no one on the planet had a body that could match the strength of his body. This was an ancient god. A 3-star ancient god. Wang Lin already considered all of this. If he were to keep on hiding his strength like before, it would only invite trouble from more people. He might as well use killing Li Yuanfeng and the Giant Demon Clan ancestor as examples to show the entire planet and especially Zhu Qiushi that he was not a pawn. After going to the country of Suzaku, Wang Lin felt a depressing feeling shrouding him. This was caused by the country of Suzaku and Mount Suzaku. Liu Mai's appearance was like a corner of the fog being lifted, allowing Wang Lin to confirm that he was trapped in a conspiracy. With Wang Lin's personality, how could he allow others to push him about? This was why he didn't hesitate to show his full strength. He didn't want to become a pawn. Even if he was a pawn, he would be a pawn covered in thorns, causing anyone who touched him to bleed. Even if the matter of him being an ancient god was exposed, he had a way out. The ancient gods had already been extinct for countless years and were legends from ancient times. Even if Zhu Qiushi saw Wang Lin, he wouldn't even be able to confirm if Wang Lin really was an ancient god. After all, there were people who focused on refining their bodies. The Giant Demon Clan was a whole group of these people. Wang Lin already considered all of this. He didn't plan on staying on Suzaku for long. He planned to leave and go to planet Qianyun once he obtains the 1 billion soul flag. Giant Demon Clan ancestor, come out now. Wang Lin floated in the air as he shouted. His voice spread across the entire Giant Demon Clan. Kaiu let out a wry smile as his body slumped over and fell down. Wang Lin didn't kill him, but as the person in control of the formation, he suffered the backlash and sustained heavy injuries when it was destroyed. Wang Lin's voice spread across the entire Giant Demon Clan. At this moment, no one dared to stand up and resist this shout. The only person who had the power to resist was the Giant Demon Clan ancestor who remained hidden. At this moment, at the border of the Giant Demon Clan, a woman wearing purple stood there, looking toward Wang Lin. She was very beautiful. Her eyes were filled with a mysterious light as she muttered to herself, "So this is your true strength. Wang Lin. It looks like even Master underestimated you." This video will end here.